secretaries, you are the aide memoire of the association. Minutes and reports are very important because they give us the essentials of the meeting. The next presenter will be presenting on the topic, how to use the General Work Program 2022-2024 and the CWA Statutes and Bylaws, aim at simplifying the use of the General Work Program for 3 years, foster the implementation and follow-up of the CWA Statutes and Bylaws. This will be presented by Agnes Ngwamisia, General Animator from the Archdiocese of Bamenda.
Working together
for a better future.
Dear mothers, we are all members of a spiritual, soul-guiding, and noble association. In this association, we have books we use in order that we should be molded spiritually, physically, socially. Amongst these books which we have are the General Work Plan and the Statutes and Bylaws of the CWA. In order that we have to follow up this or understand this book properly, we have to understand what these books contain. The General Work Plan I start with is a document containing vital information on the facts which a CWA mother must know. For example, when we take the General Work Plan, we'll find our logo, we'll find the theme, the year. We also find inside some of the leaders of the church. We also find the ESCO members who have to rule the association for 3 years. Then we have documents, some of the documents that we must use in the association. We also have slogans. We have identified prayers, resolutions of the last Congress, meetings, program guidelines for meetings at various levels, specific activities, and doctrinal formation for at least 3 years. The doctrinal formation is carried out side by side with the study of the statutes and bylaws. We ask ourselves now, what does the statutes and bylaws tell us? The statutes and the bylaws is a document containing articles which defines what the group should be like, what it should do, and failures which at times attract sanctions. In order that we can use these two books effectively and follow up what they contain, adequate preparation must be made by the facilitator, because in CWA we call whoever is handling a meeting or who has something to explain to us a facilitator. This facilitator has work to do. Before she gets into the meeting, she has to read through the text especially the Bible text, and should be ready to explain the Bible text and the articles of the Constitution as they come up for the day or for the week the meeting concerned. To use these books properly, one must follow certain criteria. We must have the first criteria. We must have study materials which we take to the meeting. For example, these study materials will be put into a bag by each and every one of us who belong to this association. This bag is called CWA bag. And what are the documents that the facilitator has to encourage all the women to put in this bag? We have here our national work program for the period concerned. For example, we are going to be talking about the one for 2022 to 2024. We also have our statutes and bylaws, which we have here, pending amendment. We also have our Bible, which must be in that bag. And to continue, we need our 2 books for formation, which is composed of the students' formation book and the teacher's manual. Then we also have to add to it our notebook. This is a book in which we take down points that we need in the association, or which we are discussing in the meeting, and important facts that we have to look into to get ourselves reminded of what was discussed in the meeting. Then we also have our rosary, which is the most important tool for a CWA mother, which is a weapon, as we call it, to fight all evils, and then to ask Mama to give us what we need. And then, in addition to these books, if it is possible, you can have a catechism of the Catholic Church. We know it is expensive, but there are some people who can afford it, and but if we cannot, then the branch or the zone can buy all this for us. So when we have all this ready in the CWA bag, then we now take our national work plan, which is the book we are talking about, and we now open to where we are concerned. We have talked about the cover page and other vital information that this book contains at the beginning of the book. Then when we study this, then we now move to our doctrinal formation in the book, which in the book here we'll find that every meeting, each meeting must start with an opening prayer. That is step 1, an opening prayer, and at least a decade of the rosary, mysteries of that day. Prayer on the cover page must be set to, as well as the CWA daily prayer and the memorial, which is our prayer that we should carry, or we should say as a companion, where we always say, my prayer and I. What a wonderful treasure God has given to me. Then, following this step 1, we have step 2. The step 2 begins with the study and meditating on the theme To carry out this study effectively, lessons have been broken doors. The first year, that is, we are now in 2022, we are studying variety of themes, which is aimed at putting members on the right rail as we respond to the call to holiness by our Holy Father. Then, step 2, the next second year tells us, second and third year tells us that we have letters of St. Paul to the Corinthians, 1 and 2. We also have letters of St. Paul to the Galatians and Ephesians. And all these are information, they contain information or what the apostles did, letters that they wrote to the people in those days, all in the name of evangelization, since they had to bring Christ and any other thing to the people. So that is second and third year. And of course, the book continues, the work plan continues, and ends up with a transformation ladder, which is meant to guide and direct the CWA woman in each day's activity, the transformation ladder. Now, we ask ourselves, to following the lessons of the day, there's always our doctrine. The Catholic Church has doctrine, which we pass on. And that is why I mentioned a book, the Catechism of the Catholic Church. Occasionally, in our work plan, we are referred to this book. And what is this doctrine to us? The Catholic cannot do without the doctrine. We use the Bible as well. But alongside, we take the practical life of a Christian or of people of the society, and we apply the scriptures to it, and people now put into use. So, following that, we always have that doctrine of the Catholic Church, and also the study of the CWA statutes and bylaws. Still a step in our study for the week during our meetings. And when these steps are being done, sometimes we are asked in the book, explain article number this to the women. So we must master in order that we study. So in our study, we should look also, when we are using the Bible, we should look at women or witnesses, especially women, who should help us to live holy lives by what they did. If I ask, for example, what did Mary Magdalene do in the Bible that can help us now to live? I think most of us will be able to say what she did, because she had a lot to teach us in order that we should follow Christ, we should follow our doctrine. Also, we should, in the letters that we study, we should ponder and apply the facts to our present situations to help us strengthen our relationship with God. It is not just a question of reading. St. Paul wrote to the apostles, "Dear Theophilus, I welcome you here," and so on. Then, yes, I'm writing to welcome you. How many times have we welcomed people in our houses? Sometimes we just shout, "Oh, you are coming to visit me?" No, Wait, I'm going somewhere. Before you came, I was about to go out, and there's no welcome about it. So when we read this, let us apply from the letters to our present daily life situation. And that is what the Catholic Church does. And we have our doctrine, and we go ahead. So again, we'll see that still another step following up the doctrine. Each lesson concludes with spontaneous prayers. We are not tied down. We know we have our steady prayer to say, Our Father, Hail Mary, glory. But here we allow the women in the meeting to say, to bring out, express their own feelings to God. We don't tie them down. They express their feelings to God by thanking Him, by requesting and praising Him. So, before ever we start using the work plan and the statutes, especially the work plan, as we are saying, it is always necessary, advisable, and permit me use the word compulsory, that when you get this book at the beginning of the year, make sure you do a thorough study of this book from the cover page to where the doctrine begins. Because again, you do it to the end, but do thoroughly from the cover page to where the doctrine begins. Because in the course of the year, we are talking, we have resolutions there that we must apply. We have meeting programs that we must follow, the timetable for the year, from general right down to branch. So do a thorough study of the book and follow the book as if it is, what would I say, as if it is your hair on your head that you cannot do without. Then, there should be, after studying the doctrine in this book, after studying all what is contained in the book from the beginning to the end, what at the end there should be quizzes to make sure that we have followed this doctrinal formation book. We have also followed the statutes and bylaws, and we know something. We can now be proud to say we have mastered something. Quizzes will do what? They foster effective mastery. And when we do this, it will be that we have followed this book effectively, we have used this book effectively, we have also used this one effectively. Dear mothers, I would think that we all have these documents I'm talking about, and we should use these documents in order to mold ourselves. The society will be transformed if we carry out what we learn from our doctrinal or general work program to the society. Most people will be changed, and our school, the school of our Mother Mary, will grow from strength to strength. So I wish you all a happy time and a happy and serious study of these documents. So it has just been presented by Gwanesia Agnes, the general animator. Through Mary
to Jesus.
When Jesus entered Jerusalem,
Hosanna,
the women shouted, Hosanna,
Hosanna.
When Jesus entered Jerusalem,
Hosanna.